You must be a man who the common folk aspire to be and to whom the nobility bow.
My actions will inspire them. Appearances don't matter.
It would be a lovely world if we were all judged
No.
purely on our conduct, my dear.
Vale, quiero decirle
But
lo que
it
quiero
would not
escuchar.
be this world. As the stories of the Inquisition spread, more and more people will wonder if you are the man they say you are. They will question what they've heard, but they will believe what they see. They must see someone greater than legends.
If that's your standard for me, what does the Divine have to live up to?
Andraste and the Maker cast very large shadows. The Divine absolutely must set the example for all Thedas. She must seem to be the embodiment of the Maker to the faithful. She needs the authority of the Maker and the charisma of Andraste. It will be no small task to fill that vacant throne.
Es vero. Juzga a la persona prisionera. Me gusta cómo suena. Informes sobre superficies. Pintura, yeso, baldosa, yeso, piedra. Los anteriores ocupantes han trabajado en las superficies una y otra vez. La mayoría son sólidas, pero en algunas levantaría todo hasta llegar a la piedra. La fuerza de este lugar son los cimientos. ¿Estamos aquí para largo plazo o es que la Inquisición algo temporal? Hazlo bien. La Inquisición solo es temporal si fracasamos y no vamos a fallar al Inquisidor. Me gusta. Vale. ¿Eras tú? Sí, entrega la investigación, sí.
Are there any special instructions?
No, I would have stated as much.
Solo
of
eso.
course. I'll
Ah,
be
no.
quick.
Claro, es un dragón lo que acabo de entregar. Cerebro de dragón.
You may depart in a moment.
Increíble, cabrón. ¡Hostia! Qué susto. Vale. Y vamos por el fuego. Porque no tengo magia de sangre. Si no, le pondría magia de sangre, la verdad. Leliana, hola. ¿Qué me cuentas?
Our agents have encountered more followers of Corypheus, the so-called Venatori. Their leader, Calpurnia, has them searching elven ruins. For what, I do not know.
Es verdad.
I propose we stop the Venatori before they find what they seek.
Do you know anything about Calpurnia?
Only that Calpurnia is a name from ancient Tevinter legend, an unusual one. She was a priestess of Dumat, foster mother to the founder of the Imperium. A name like that is meant to assure the Venatori they follow in the footsteps of legends. We must prove them wrong.
Calpurnia must be up to something. Corypheus doesn't seem the type to suffer idleness.
I will not let her and Corypheus take us unawares again. These Venatori have been shadowing a merchant called Vicinius on Calpurnia's orders. They've investigated his finances, surveyed his warehouses. I propose that you meet with Vicinius. Flatter him. Find out what he knows of Calpurnia.
Vicinius sounds like a Tevinter name.
Born in Tallow. Although he claims to be from Virantium, he sells rare oils and amber, and prefers red wine to white.
Ok.
What side of the bed does he sleep on?
He's unremarkable. I cannot think why Calpurnia would care.
We need him to open up about these bloodthirsty cultists. I'll bring wine.
Vicinius could be a useful ally. Merchants travel, and they love gossip as much as coin. I'll make arrangements for you to visit his summer home in Val Rayo. Hopefully, your attention should be enough to pique his interest. We'll have Calpurnia's secrets yet.
Vale, misión, camarada mercader que le gusta el vino. Entiendo. Es un santuario de Andraste, supongo. Nadie más con quien hablar aquí. Esas mierdas ya las leí todas. Son las mismas, ¿no? ¿Estaréis encantada de saber? Sí. Vale, ahora hablamos contigo. Hola.
We're supposed to have 52 copies of Hard in Hightown, and we're missing all but 4.
¡Hostia! Tengo que encontrar 48 libros. Déjate.
A request has been made of you, Inquisitor. Here it is.
What is your evaluation of how we're doing?
Adequate. Based on the partial improvements to Skyhold.
As you were.
Me parece bien.
Yes, Inquisitor.
Por aquí, ¿quién había? Vivian, ¿no? Sí. A leer, ¿qué es esto? El velo. Detesto esa noción de que el velo es una especie de telón invisible que separa el mundo de los vivos de los espíritus. Se llame velo o se llame más allá, es una cuestión cultural en la que niego a extenderme en este momento. No hay en este lado y en ese lado en lo relativo al velo. Uno no puede pensar en él como una cosa física o barrera, y menos como un muro reluciente de luz sagrada. Muchísimas gracias por esa imagen de perfección. En vez de ello, pensad en el velo como si abrierais los ojos. Antes de que lo sabráis, veréis vuestro mundo como lo veis ahora. Estático, sólido, inmutable. Ahora que los habéis abierto, veréis nuestro mundo como lo ven los espíritus. Caótico, en perpetuo cambio, en un reino en el que lo que se imagina y que se recuerda tiene tanta sustancia como lo real. Más, de hecho. Un espíritu lo ve todo tal y como lo define la voluntad y la memoria, y por ello están perdidos en cuanto cruzan el vuelo. En nuestro mundo la imaginación no tiene sustancia. Los objetos existen con independencia de cómo los recordamos en las emociones o cómo nos asociamos a ellos. Solo los magos tienen el poder de cambiar el mundo con su mente, y quizás eso explique la naturaleza de la atracción de los demonios sienten por ellos. ¿Quién sabe? Sea como sea, el acto es atravesar el velo, es un cambio de las perfecciones propias y una transformación física. El velo es una idea. Es el propio acto de la transición y el solo hecho de que tanto los seres vivos como los espíritus encuentren difícil esa transición explica que se tenga el velo como una barrera física. Tiene sentido. Y es por lo que espíritus como el que encontramos de aquella señora espiritual que nos mandaba «¡Mata un demonio! Le ordeno una piedra que se parta sola y no se parte». Pues normal, que se frustre. Hola.
Roderick, that chantry fellow who led us through the mountain from Haven. You know he died, I assume. Got us as far as the camp and then... that was it.
Oh, that's too bad.
I helped him walk. He... talked about you quite a bit.
Mal,
He just
seguramente.
needed to be sure you were Andraste's chosen. He was terrified of what it meant, if it were true. But in the end, he believed. He asked me to tell you he was sorry.
Thank you for telling me about that.
I thought it was important. Anyway, we can talk about something else if you'd rather.
I'd like to ask you about Tevinter.
Sí, tengo curiosidad.
Yes, everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it.
Lógico.
Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. It's madness. All right, that one's actually true, but the cows didn't have wings. I digress. Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion, too. Of course, what people call blood magic here, and what we consider blood magic, are two different things.
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge. a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a magister who makes noise, and then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar all along. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Anyone who talks about the Imperium mentions slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And? Did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south.
Ya, si te crías con eso.
How it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
You think slaves like it that way? Don't be ridiculous.
I didn't say they like it. It's all most of them know. In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
At least they're free. They don't have slavery forced on them.
You think people choose to be poor and oppressed? I doubt it. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
There's an Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine?
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
There are circles of magi in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones. We have Templars as well, but they don't cancel spells or whatever your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
So the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry. It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a
Hostia.
bygone age desperately clinging to relics.
¿Habéis visto esto?
It's not an opinion that makes me popular.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents. I'll say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
In me?
That the Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
That's true. I feel the same.
My, someone's full of themselves, aren't they?
I was just agreeing with you.
Don't agree on my account. A little doubt wouldn't harm the Herald of Andraste.
Ay, por una vez que digo lo que pienso que quieren escuchar, cago en la leche.
The world
Yo hubiera puesto la otra, la de me.
even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe, but I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
Let me ask you something else.
So many questions.
Sí.
It seems strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The Magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that...
Lore, Lore a mazo. Lore, 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 Lore.
He gets to appoint new magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Tevinter influence, let me tell you.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Tevinter legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origins. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Ya.
Let me ask you something else.
Of course.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't, of course. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime...
Tiene sentido, debilitar al rival.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
You think that matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
That's all I wanted to know.
Fair enough.
There must be some reason you haven't left. You can't want to stay.
Why? I have to be fond of you to agree with what you're doing. I do think you blunder about, Inquisitor, thrashing like a caged dragon at everything that displeases you. I still believe Corypheus needs to be stopped, and that I need to be here to help stop him.
Oh, you think you would be such an immense help against Corypheus?
If you'd let me, yes. I have every reason to put my life on the line here. Corypheus was a magister. He represents everything dark and terrible in my country. I have to help. Even if it means I stand on the sidelines watching, I'll do it. I need to know he's defeated. If that's meaningless to you, then tell me to go and I will.
No, I'm not asking you to leave.
Excellent. Then let's not belabor it further.
Que se enfada el notas. Pero me gustó la conversación. Lore a saco. Por cierto, aquí hay más gente. No. Vale, ahora hablaremos con Solas. Este capítulo va a ser así, ¿eh? Hablar con gente y tal, porque me gusta el lore. Como podéis suponer. No está. Ah, sí, sí está. Perdón, que te camuflas con la pared, cabrón. Hola. ¿No? ¿No me cuentas nada? Vale.
We'll talk later. Goodbye.
Hasta luego.
Can't fight a god.
Hello, Inquisitor.
The elder
Honored
things
to
we
help
thank
with
God.
these, whatever
He's
they are.
darkspawn.
¿Quién eres?
Honored, Inquisitor. Gotzi Sturhald. Did my part on the walls. Now I'm on this strange collection you've brought us. Don't know its worth to the fight exactly, but it's good workmanship.
Any ideas about the origins of these reliefs?
To Vinter, early. It's in the tool marks, the grain. That's hard dust mined from the 100 Pillars, if I know anything. Oh, I suppose the scene is probably full of Tevinter robes, too.
The 100 Pillars?
Damnedest things. Massive spires that aren't stone. It's like a mortar. Don't know more than that. Strong, though.
Where did you learn your skills?
Orzammar. Carved a few
Ole.
statues in my day. And
Es
before
de
you ask,
plebeyo, por los
yes,
tatuajes en la cara.
I chose to leave. I carved a paragon who turned out to be a sodding madwoman. Couldn't stand looking at it. The memory of a dwarf, right?
Do you have insight into the stories these tiles are supposed to depict?
Tell you what, you finish one, and I'll write it up. Who better, right? A good dwarven perspective.
Another time.
Vale, son las baldosas estas que vamos encontrando, pero son súper complicadas de encontrar. Yo exploro, pero seguro que me voy a dejar 50. ¿Tú? ¿Terminaste el libro?
Need something? What can you tell me about this Corypheus?
I'm not exactly an expert, but ask away and I'll answer what I can.
How did you first encounter him?
A few years back, I was dealing with some trouble from a Carter clan that went rogue. They were sending assassins after the Hawk family. We tracked them to a rune in the Vimarks. It turned out to be a trap. Once you went far enough into the rune, there was a magic barrier that kept you from going back. The whole thing was a prison the Grey Wardens were using to hold what they thought was a powerful darkspawn.
You and Hawk both said before he was supposed to be dead.
He was dead. We killed him. The only way for us to escape the prison Corypheus was trapped in was to go through him. We weren't going to just leave the door to his prison open behind us and hope he was dead. We made sure.
He looks like some sort of blighted creature, but he speaks. What is he exactly?
The wardens who imprisoned him thought he was just a darkspawn. But you heard him ranting. He claims he's a magister. One who assaulted the Golden City, what, more than 1,000 years ago? It seems crazy, but if he's telling the truth, he's one of the people who caused the blights.
All right, I think that's enough about Corypheus.
No problem.
¿Quién me habla aquí? Nada, es arriba.
Not so standards. That'll guide the dragon right in.
By the time it's across the growing legions, that growing pincushion will be ripe for swords.
Ah, que por cierto, nos falta gente aquí, mazo.
Someone
Cassandra está
left
en la
sliced
sesión.
plums on the windowsill again. The juice is attracting flies. There are spiders everywhere. The plums were right in front of me, but I can't quite recall who took them.
No nos interesa mucho esa conversación. Uy. Hostia.
You knew where Hawk was all along.
You're damned right I did.
You conniving little shit.
You kidnapped me! You interrogated me! What did you expect?
¿Qué hago?
I expected you to tell the truth. I told you what was at stake.
So I just hand him over on your say-so? It's okay, Hawk. This zealot isn't crazy. I promise. Look at her. She's finally lost it.
All right. You've both made your point.
We needed someone to lead this Inquisition. Hawk was our only hope. He was the champion of Kirkwall. The mages respected him. And you kept him from us.
The Inquisition has a leader.
Hawk would have been at the Conclave if anyone could have saved Most Holy.
You've made your point.
Varric is a liar, Inquisitor. A snake. Even after the Conclave, when we needed Hawk most, Varric kept him secret.
He's with us now. We're on the same side.
We all know whose side you're on, Varric. It will never be the Inquisition's.
Attacking him now won't help us, Cassandra.
Ha! Exactly.
And you better not be keeping anything else from us.
Ah, I understand.
He did bring Hawk. Late, perhaps, but Hawk is with us. As are you.
You know what I think? If Hawk had been at the temple, he'd be dead too. You people have done enough to him.
I believed him. He spun his story for me, and I swallowed it. If I just explained what was at stake, if I just made him understand. But I didn't, did I? I didn't explain why we needed Hawk. I'm such a fool.
Good thing I still like you.
I'm serious.
You think I'm not?
I want you to know, I have no regrets. Maybe if we'd found Hawk, the Maker wouldn't have needed to send you. But he did. I don't know how it will end, but I would have it no other way.
Vaya, vaya. A ver, Cassandra. Más cinemáticas. Madre mía. Estamos que nos salimos.
I can keep staring at this, but I won't get any closer.
Something I can help you with?
Yes. Possibly. You recall the demon at Therenfall? The one impersonating Lord Seeker Lucius? We never found the real Lord Seeker. Or his body. Indeed, I've seen no hint of any Seekers amongst the Red Templars, or anywhere. I have a growing suspicion Corypheus has imprisoned them.
Why imprisoned? He could just as easily have killed them.
Not easily. But yes, they may be dead. Yet a demon of envy does not kill whomever it replaces. It hides them away and learns about them. There must be a trail we can follow, yet so far I have only discovered hints.
But they could have ended up just like the Red Templars.
Seekers do not use lyrium. I assume Corypheus gained control of the Templars by corrupting the lyrium they were already taking. To do the same to a Seeker, you'd have to force the lyrium upon him. That may be what happened, but it couldn't have begun that way. We're missing a piece of the puzzle, Inquisitor. I need to find it.
Finding them obviously means a lot to you.
I left the Order, but I can never abandon them. I cannot even claim that rescuing them would be beneficial. They wouldn't look kindly on the Inquisition. But even so, if there's a chance... If we can spare resources to follow up on these leads, Inquisitor, I would appreciate it.
Entiendo. Hola, ¿qué me cuentas?
Inquisitor, I was just inspecting our new headquarters. Foundation cracks, nesting animals, and miles from any centers of civilization. The staff must make it presentable if we're to receive any visitors of distinction.
It certainly wouldn't do for the Inquisition to appear overly shabby.
We've only just now convinced everyone we are precisely what Thedas requires. The Templars came far to fight with us. They need to feel secure here.
Do you not feel safe here?
I've had difficulty forgetting Corypheus' attack on Haven. Do you know who first leapt to arms? Our workers. They were so proud of our cause. Corypheus simply cut them down. So much screaming after that first blast of fire. So many people turned to ash.
We lost far too many good people to that monster.
I'm sure they'll find rest with the Maker. Well, before I return to my duties, allow me to congratulate you on your appointment as Inquisitor, my lord. I will now bring diplomatic issues to your attention, and I'm more than happy to help with any situations that arise.
I'm loath to part from such pleasant company. Would you care to walk the castle with me?
Oh, well, a tour then? Let me fetch the steward.
That isn't precisely what I was hoping for.
Well, do let me
Hay
know if
tomate
you change
aquí.
your mind. Now I must find someone to prepare the guest quarters.
Se porta mal el Inquisidor. ¿Por aquí qué hay? Aquí no he estado. Estatuas enanas. Libros. ¿Cómo hacerse el frendano? La verdad es lore que no me interesa. Primera ruina, capítulo 2. Pues cuando tengamos el todos, los leemos. Pirámides de Polvoran. La isla llamada Polvoran fue la primera tierra de Thedas que tomaron los Qunari y ha permanecido bajo su control desde entonces. Pero aunque los Qunari han levantado sus propias maravillas sobre la isla, a la mente viene la afamada ciudad de Qunandar. Polvoran tuvo una rica historia antes de que el Qun llegara a sus orillas. Aparta la vista de las maravillas de Qunandar y dirige la mirada a la jungla. Allí verás las ruinas vastas de ciudades que proclaman en silencio. Aquí estuvimos. Las distintivas pirámides de Polvoran que asoman entre la maleza se han mantenido prácticamente intactas. Aunque su propósito inicial se haya perdido, no parecen ser tumbas. Si bien algunas cámaras contienen cuerpos que han sido preservados cuidadosamente, es asombroso, pero las proporciones de las pirámides son matemáticamente perfectas. Puesto que su alineación es tan precisa, es de sospechar que sirvieran a algún propósito científico. Observatorios, quizás. Andavan Certastes ha observado que la forma de las pirámides de Parvolem parece corresponder a la perfección con la constelación de Solium. Sabemos más de las pirámides de los humanos sabemos más de las pirámides que de los humanos que las construyeron. Los Kunari llegaron a Parvolem como conquistadores, pero no hay historia registrada y poco rastro se ve de batallas libradas en las costas de la isla. Una civilización capaz de construir ciudades tan inmensas habría de tener sin duda defensas, ejércitos, quizá hasta armas que resultaran extrañas, incluso para los Kunari. De modo que... ¿por qué hay tan escasas pruebas de resistencia? Una respuesta podría estribar en lo que queda de sus templos. Bajo las hojas de las enredaderas que cubren las paredes todavía se distinguen los estilizados grabados que adornaban. Hace ya tiempo que se desconchó la pintura, pero las siluetas son claras. Intrincadas criaturas marinas, calafantes, músicos, arqueros y reyes. Aquí y allá se representan extrañas figuras, altas, con cuernos, siempre con una posición de autoridad y respeto. ¿Qué eran estas figuras cornudas para los antiguos de Parvolan? ¿Sacerdotes coronados en un ritual? ¿Héroes? ¿Dioses, tal vez? Puede que nunca lo sepamos la verdad, pero cuando los Kunari llegaron al mar, exhibiendo cuernos y portando la palabra del Kun, quizás, en vez de conquistadores, la población de Parvolem vio el regreso de una vieja leyenda. No son más que conjeturas. Los humanos de Parvolem son ahora Kunari, su antigua civilización desechada como el juguete de un niño. Aún así, las pirámides siguen siendo, junto a las antiguas ciudades, la isla misma. Algún día, estudiosos más grandes oirán quizás lo que tienen que decir. Básicamente acaban de contarnos la historia de los españoles llegando a América a la parte donde vivían los mayas, los cuales ya estaban prácticamente muertos. Locura del cuartel... no, 5. Vale, sí, espera. ¿Qué es el verde? Un color. Vale. Nada más por aquí. Aquí estoy casi 100% seguro que se van a alojar los enanos. Cuando vengan. Tiene toda la pinta.
First, a full wheel of Antivan smoked cheese, and now 3 royals worth of crushed mint. They were right here. I remember seeing someone take them. I can't recall their face.
Las cocinas. La cocina de feudo celestial otra vez. Si alguna vez te pillo al que echa los nabos a la chimenea, le meteré personalmente en la picadora. Más de la cocina del feudo celestial. Una vez más, procurad que la elfa no entre en la cocina. Y revisad el azúcar cada día para aseguraros de que sea azúcar y no sal. Entiendo. Racismo y cocina. Vale. Nota de las cocinas de feudo celestial. Solicitud de cosas. Vale. ¿Cuántas veces lo tengo que decir? Si se cae al suelo, se puede comer igual. Mira el carajo. Dennett.
All's well. Are your wife and daughter doing well?
Elena's minding the farms. Sienna's still running her full races. Wouldn't be fair to drag them up here. I miss them. But someone has to save the world.
How are your charges? Well supplied?
Surprisingly well. Not many could feed these people, let alone their mounts. Makes me wonder what you're capable of.
Heard anything worth noting?
Too busy to hear things, and that's how I like it.
Farewell.
Make her be with you. All's well?
No.
Farewell.
Make her be with you.
Mi montura bonita. Bonita mi montura. El mejor es el de Inquisición, las cosas como son. ¿Tengo cadáveres para comprar? ¡Oh! ¿Todos estos? Obvio. Compra todos, hombre, todos. A ver mis caballos nuevos. Primero este. Tengo uno nuevo. Qué guapo este. Este está chulo. A ver. Míralo. Bonito. A ver el pura sangre del anciano. Es como un caballo de los indios de Norteamérica. Que básicamente es un cruces de raza española. Este es bonito, parece un árabe. Vale, exóticos no tengo ninguno diferente. Estos tampoco. Y estos solo tengo uno, por desgracia. Mi guardia.
I've heard rumors of abandoned warden camps all over these parts. If we have time, I'd like to take a look. See if there's anything we can salvage.
What do you think of the Inquisition?
This Inquisition is everyone's best friend. How Josephine managed to pull that off is beyond me.
Es buena.
What do you think of the Inquisition's cause?
Restoring order is a goal I support wholeheartedly. But that's not the end of it, is it? Not by a half. The Lady Seeker believes we are restoring the Chantry. Others say it needs reform. I don't know where you stand on the matter, and I'll admit I haven't made up my mind either.
You must have some feelings about our friends.
Last time we dined, Sarah put away 12 potatoes, an entire roast duck, and 4 different tarts.
Bueno, bien.
I'm not sure where any of it goes.
Es elfa.
We should return to our duties.
As you wish. You are, after all, in charge.
Artefactos. Joder, pero son muchas cosas, ¿no? Madre mía. ¿Cuántas misiones nos acumula el trabajo,
I hear you'll be leaving us soon.
Mira la tienda.
I can go home.
Buenísimo. Porque es un escudo. Buah, es buenísimo también. El arco también. Todo es buenísimo.
I'm glad to hear it. Make her go with you.
The Maker doesn't listen.
¿Qué pone aquí? Nada y nada útil. Los templarios, tal. Cirujana.
Somewhat off-color today, Inquisitor? An excess of bile, perhaps. Might I bleed you, or offer a herbal tonic?
¿Cómo? A mí no me rayes con tus mierdas, ¿eh? Anda, esto estaba cerrado la otra vez. Es verdad, no me acordaba. Va tomando forma nuestro castillo de la Inquisición, ¿eh? ¿Qué pasa ahora? No sé dónde hay nadie. Taberna. Hola.
Inquisitor.
What's been going on?
Seeker Cassandra came through here, looking like a storm cloud.
La vi.
That's just her face, though, isn't it?
I have to go.
Descanso del Heraldo. En este lugar para todos hay un buen servir, descansar, para reponerse y proseguir. Recordad siempre que estéis muy cansados que es vuestra casa, el descanso del Heraldo. Compramos el cielo con un clamor de taberna. Venga, borrachos, reuníos, que es así como empieza. El canto de nuestros héroes de estirpes. Nah, estos son canciones, paso. Ay, qué bien, canta. Hola, amigo.
Inquisitor.
And you are?
The bartender, Cabot.
Just the bartender?
You were expecting...
Well, welcome to the Inquisition.
Thank you. Welcome to the tavern.
What's the current mood?
Willful.
What's the word out there?
Well, they once wore, now togs, now fashionable hats. Now they've seen something shiny.
Where did you study? I assume you're trained.
In bartending? I'm no alchemist. You mix the bottles that don't taste like nug and you pretend to listen. I suppose I trained at home during feast day family visits. My specialty is ale. Old Antivan recipe. The secret is ale.
You're a bit of a hard-ass. Why are you here?
If I could fight, I'd be in a helmet. If I was a mage, I'd throw fire. And probably be dead. But I can't do anything.
Así que sirvo
Just like the
cerveza.
hundreds of people who can't do anything. We'll make sure the thousands who can do something can do it. Besides, if you know a safer place than your castle, do share.
As you were.
Inquisitor.
Inquisitor. Ya sabía yo que ibas a estar aquí, tú. Borrachín. A ver qué nos cuenta.
Inquisitor, come have a drink. To killing a high dragon like warriors of legend.
Ahí voy. Está duro.
I know, right? Put some chest on your chest. That little gurgle right before it spat fire. And that roar. What I wouldn't give to roar like that. The way the ground shook when it landed. The smell of the fires burning. Tarsidathan Halsam. You know, Kunari hold dragons sacred. Well, as much as we hold anything sacred. Here, your turn.
That thing you just said. You shouted it during the fight, too. What does it mean?
Oh, Tarsidathan Halsam. Closest translation would be, I will bring myself sexual pleasure later, while thinking about this with great respect.
You shouted that while it was breathing fire at us.
I know, right?
Me vas a matar, tú.
Yes, the second cup's easier. Most of the nerves in your throat are dead after the first one. Atashi, the glorious ones. That's our word for them. Atashi.
Why do you think the Kunari think of dragons that way?
Well, you know how we have horns. We kind of look more dragony than most people. Maybe it's that. But a few of the Ben Hasrath have this crazy old theory. See, the Tamasrans control who we mate with. They breed us for jobs like you'd breed dogs or horses. What if they mixed in some dragon a long time ago?
Maybe drinking the blood, maybe magic, I don't know. But something in that dragon we killed
Si tú no estabas.
spoke to me.
It's a shame we had to kill the dragon.
Damn good fight. Dragons are the embodiment of raw power. But it's all uncontrolled. Savage. So, they need to be destroyed. Taming the wild. Order out of chaos. Have another drink.
Me da que me voy a caer con esta.
Nice. To dragons.
To finding the biggest, baddest things in the world and showing them that we're badder.
Anan.
Todos morados. Me gusta hablar con mi gente. De verdad. Vale, yo tengo al borracho. ¿Quién es tú?
Inquisitor. That's got a good ring to it. We're happy to be here, Your Worship. You need anything, let me know.
We'll talk later.
Es el capitán del Toro de Hierro.
I hope I can help somehow. Maybe cleaning?
No sé.
Oh, Inquisitor, I joined.
¿Quién eres?
Sutherland, Your Worship. I saw some bandits, so I came to warn people. I'll let your warriors know and then stay out of the way.
We are assembling quite the influential list of allies.
We could have stopped before that black wall.
There are few orders as legendary.
Right.
Hey, Cole, ¿qué haces aquí?
Hates it all because of the darkness behind the door. Some doors should stay shut.
I'd like to talk about what happened to you before we met.
Before you, Rhys was my friend. He showed me I was wrong to kill the mages. I thought I was helping them. Then he and Evangeline went to Adamant, and I went with them. I was worried Evangeline would hurt Rhys. We found out dangerous things. It scared Seeker Lambert, and he scared the mages. It started the rebellion. Seeker Lambert told me what I was. Rhys couldn't look at me. I ran until I found more Templars. That's all.
What was the Spire like when the Mage Rebellion started?
Dead and dying, begging and bloody. Some wanted freedom, some peace, some war. Some wanted it all to stop. Evangeline was a Templar, but she helped Rhys help the others. She set them free. Adrian was a mage, but she killed mages to force the fight. She wanted blood. Rhys just wanted to help, to stop people hurting. Maybe that's why he saw me.
What can you tell me about Rhys?
He was a mage. He saw me when most couldn't, and he remembered. He helped me, and I watched over him. I worried Evangeline would hurt him. She was a Templar, but she didn't like hurting people. When I left, she stayed. Now she watches over him. They should have been with the rebels. Maybe they ran away together instead. Neither of them like killing.
If you like, I could use the resources of the Inquisition to locate your friend.
No. If they are alive and safe, they should stay away. The last time he saw me, he didn't want to look at me. He saw a monster. Let him forget.
What did you mean when you said you killed mages?
Some of the mages of the Spire wanted to die. Too sad, too scared, too much. I didn't know what I was. A ghost, I thought. Fading in the fade. When I came to them, they could see me. I used the knife to set them free. When Rhys found out, he made me stop, made me understand. There were
Como yo
other
antes.
ways
Este
to
tío es marrero.
I didn't know.
It sounds like you didn't know what you were doing.
No, I killed people. I knew. I just thought I had to. They were hurting, helpless, haunted. It was all I could do. It was wrong. I was wrong. If I start again, you or Cassandra or Cullen need to kill me.
Ciertos.
You said Seeker Lambert told you what you were.
I'm hiding Reese from him, but he chants words and sees. I won't let you hurt Reese. My nose explodes, a shower of blood. Just another parasite that's wormed its way into our world, feeding off all the things you can't have. What we found at Adamant made him angry. We were the first rock rolling at the top of a mountain. He had to stop us. He killed so many. He didn't care. Cold, corrupt. So I
Mató un
came
buscador.
and killed him.
Una como Cassandra.
If you hated Seeker Lambert, why go to the Seeker Fortress?
Because he was right. I was a demon. I saw demons at Adamant. They put people in the dark, in the old hurts. I didn't want to be that. I heard the old songs of the Templars at Val Royeaux and followed them. If I forgot, fought, fell to felling, Templars would kill the demon. I wouldn't hurt anyone again.
What can you tell me about Adamant Fortress?
It is old, full of sadness and pain. It should be torn down. The veil is thin. We found a demon there. It had touched a man and made him real again. It scared Reese and Evangeline. The man wasn't supposed to be real. Then the demon found us. It put me back in the cupboard on the bad day. Reese and Evangeline saved me.
I'll talk to you later.
How do you know?
Ay, hay otra sola. Hostia. Ah, sí. Ya sé dónde estoy. Hola. Ya, buen campamento tenemos ahí abajo, ¿no? Ay, se ve gente y todo. Esto no nos dio tiempo a reformar. Aquí está Kirwell. Bueno, estaba. Aquí no hay nadie ahora mismo, si no ya me lo marcaría. Tengo una interrogación y cosa aquí. No, pero esto es la sala de... lo diré. Las reuniones. ¿Y eres tú?
You get a title, I get the boot. I see how it is. I mean, thanks for my life. Pleased to serve.
¿Cómo?
Inquisitor.
¿Quién coño eres tú? Prometido del hacedor, aunque soy de carne, tu luz siempre estará presente, y aquellos que han llamado recuerden y resistirán siempre. Y con ellos entonaré el cantar para que todos sepan que somos tuyos y nada entre nosotros nos interpondrá. Con este salve de Andraste vamos a dejar el capítulo larguísimo que hemos hecho hoy. Hasta pronto.